of this legal instrument, they were very emphatic that the primary function of the agency should basically include ensuring the implementation of the Disaster Management Action Plan for disaster preparedness to re-verbatim, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, the National Environmental Policy, the National Food Security and Nutrition Strategy, the National Health Policy, and other policies as it relates to disaster adopted by the government of Liberia. It is clear that in recent times we have witnessed disasters from several perspectives, which I know the fire has been increasing on an increasing rate, whereas we have had water disaster, wind disaster that we call windstorm, and other disasters. And it's clear also that the Disaster Management Agency has a primary function and a mandate to identify with victims during these incidents, which takes the properties of people and also the lives, as we have witnessed in recent times. And one of them is the one that I have a clear record of, which we had to bury 5 persons because of fire disaster. So we were prompted to do this communication so as to allow the National Disaster Management Agency to bring us to speed as to what has been the issue as it relates to implementing the cardinal function as provided by the law. Whether or not it's operational issue, whether or not it's financial issue, whether or not it's staff capacity issue. So we need them to tell us what has been the major cause of them not executing either to a little extent or to no extent. So, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, fellow colleagues, with that brief history, I will submit and be open later on if the need for me to come back. Thank you so much.
Honorable Director, you have listened to the communications. You have 10 minutes. Inquiry, Honorable.
Yes. So, Speaker, I want to understand how much distinguished colleagues. Are these people new in the institutions, or we have old people on there? Because we need an institution, and the question we're asking is something in the past. So I just wanted to know first if they are legal. Then we can be asking for way forward from them, what idea they have brought on the table, and how they think we can work with them to make an intervention in disaster better. Thank you.
Honorable Dolly, you want to answer that question? Yeah. We want to answer the inquiry.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, member of the
Honorable.
I said honorable.
Okay, proceed.
Well, I have with me technicians from the National Disaster Management Agency, and as a training manager, having gone through 2 weeks of study of the National Disaster Management Agency, we actually comprehend and understand where we come from and where the agency stands. So we are fully equipped with information.
The Honorable Director, the Director said he's fully equipped. Please proceed. Would you information the whole day? Information on down. Information on down.
Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues. No, my information is I'm aware that few appointments have been made to that institution, and if my memory serves me right, the witness has just been confirmed about 2 weeks ago. I believe strongly he is not fully capacitated.
witness. The witness has already spoken for himself. No. You can't speak for the witness. The witness has already spoken for himself. He said he's totally equipped. Yeah. I mean, the observation is the right, but it's actually the right.
The witness should proceed. Thank you very much. Honorable Don, punishment of a fire. This honorable body has given me 10 minutes. I hope there will be enlargement of time. Chapter 2, Section 1.2 of the Act establishing the National Disaster Management Agency. Mandate the National Disaster Management Agency that the National Disaster Management Agency policy coordinate the National Disaster Management System, incorporate state and non-state actors at all levels, and handle disaster-related issues to ensure reduced vulnerability to natural and human-induced hazards.
I will discharge the witness if we don't want to pay attention to the witness. Your presentation is based on what you are reading. So since you have distributed copies of it, just summarize in 10 minutes. Yes.
Thank you. And so
10.
I will give you some few historical retrospective of the National Disaster Management Agency. We inherited an agency with for the extent with no operational budget. By the agency benefited only in the last budgetary period from a donation from the Saudi government, some 5,000 bags of rice for which they still have some in their warehouse. The Japanese government also trained and equipped the Emergency Operational Center and gave all the mobile emergency operational vehicles that have never been commissioned nor added due to lack of budgetary allocation. And so, the National Disaster Management Agency is an agency that is responsible statutorily to prepare our preparedness to respond to disaster has never been fully utilized because there is no money to prepare. There was no money to prepare the agency for catastrophe that may likely occur in the near future. And so, for example, the total fire disaster that occurred, you will see representatives and senators taking to themselves responsibility that is statutorily belonging to the agency because there is no coordination. Under the National Disaster Management Agency is fully responsible to coordinate all emergency and disaster-related issues, be it health hazard, be it flooding, and all disaster-related activities like fire. But we have no capacity to do that because there is no budget. So we only respond to these hazards by our personnel going to take records. And we go back to office and sit with no money to go forward. And so, this agency, according to the Act, there should be a National Disaster Management Trust Fund that will be funded through act of legislation to levy taxes for disaster like the road fund. So we should not be, for the Act, we should not even be worried for money because some application should be happening on the last government. For example, you can levy tax, you can support, you cannot, and likewise. So where we are now, Honorable Speaker, but I'm still cruising, I've done that. Honorable Speaker, and Honorable Deputy Speaker, and member of this House of Legislature, I can tell you here, as I report to you, I can tell you with some degree of certainty that indeed you have an agency that is equipped with not a harlotry, but fully respond to disaster because of lack of budgetary allocation. So what we are saying, when what we are here, is that to coordinate disaster-related activities, to be effective, the Act calls for the disaster management activities to be across the entire campus. We need to have offices in Riverside, we need to have offices in Sando, we need to have offices, and for the matter of fact, we have 5 regional hubs that the United Nations have built for us in Banda, dedicated it, and they're standing there with us staff. Only building there. We have one in Bobby Hills, the equipment is set at headquarters, no money to have to serve them. We need to create regional hubs. If there is fire disaster in Neighbor County, our men should be moving from Banda to Boganta, for example. We have an ambulance that is there, that is never being used. As soon as sitting there, being decorated without dust, there is no operational fund. There is no money to even maintain the vehicle that the Japanese government gave to us. We have the emergency operational mobile vehicle that can respond to disaster where they will be transmitting images from the vehicle to our headquarters then to the entire world. It has never been commissioned. In the 2 weeks, we have retrieved them from the military barrack. We have educated them gradually with no financial support from central government. Because we need this. The Emergency Operational Center, the platform to educate, is all the national police, the military, the Ministry of Health should be setting up there to coordinate activities. It is not being activated because there is no money from central government. So then where are we? You have an agency in need for any action. We are prepared to move, to mitigate, to do the awareness. But where are we, Honorable Speaker? We have come to passionately appeal to this honorable body. We are taking advantage of the call because we are yearning to be here one day. And today we are called, and so we got to present ourselves. And so, Honorable Speaker, I will rise momentarily, and so that other questions can be answered, and maybe our explanation can fall in the question and answer period. Thank you.
Okay,